how's it going? Caesar here, Starring Dreams. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Hope everybody had a good week. First off, I want to thank all the new subscribers. This week I got several comments, a couple of questions. Thank you. I appreciate it. I just doing this little update tonight on my 66 Nova, and just where I left off last time, the other day. I was going to primer the body, and I was going to use this Styrylrez primer, white. I personally, I didn't like this primer, and I'll explain why. A lot of people love this. That's the reason I got it. I got a white, a rust color, I believe, and a black. And the reason I chose the white was because of the body color that I was going to use for this Nova, which is this Testors Extreme Lacquer. And I was with the gray primer underneath. I didn't want it to come out too dark. I just wanted to go a little light with the white primer. But I didn't do a test, and I should have done a test just to see what it looked like. And I've been meaning to do a test, and I just kept slipping my mind. But I decided that I wasn't going. As you can see, it's gray. I decided that I'm not going to use this primer. I went back and I ran out of the Tamiya. I ran out of this Tamiya primer, which is what I've used for the longest time. For years I've been using this one, and this was my last can, but I have a can of Mr. Surfacer primer, which is what's on here now. It's on top of the Styrylrez, but I'm going to turn the camera around and explain a little bit of what's going on here and tell you why I don't like it. Might make sense, it might not. Maybe I used it wrong. I know the first time I used it, I didn't thin it at all. I just airbrushed it straight out of the bottle. The second time, I shot it with, well, the first time I shot it with a Gallery GH-AD 39, and the second time I shot it with my Swallowtail with the 0.5 needle and the fantail cap, the fan cap, which I didn't show on my initial video when I first got it. I did buy the fan cap with it, but even still, I didn't really. It shot okay, I guess. And this time I did do like a 30, 70 maybe. I thinned it about 30-70, or maybe 80-20. And it shot better, but it's not how it sprayed. I guess the airbrush part was fine. It was the afterwards, and I'm gonna turn the camera around this time, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. All right, guys and girls, let's talk about the 66 Nova here. Oops. set up this light a little better. So let me start by, I don't want to trash this kit, but it's not a very good kit. Still workable. It's not bad, but I worked with a lot better. First of all, this body, this plastic, this styrene here, it's like really soft, and it's like butter. If you're not careful, you can slice extra. If you're trying to remove flash, be very careful. You can go and you can slice off some chunks if you're not careful. Another thing is, here's the story with the primer, Styrolrez. Now everybody, like I said, everybody swears by this thing, and I bought these several years ago, about 2 years ago maybe. About 2 years ago, I bought this white one. I bought a black one. No, is it a black one or a gray one? I have to look in my cabinet. And it's the rust color one. So I bought 3 bottles. And so I decided I wanted to try the white, because I was, like I said, I wanted to spray this, and I didn't want the turquoise to show up too dark. So that's why I went with this. And I'm glad I did, because now I know that how this works. Now, like I said, it could have been my fault. The first time I used it, I didn't really thin it. I just went straight to from the bottle. And the second time I shot it, I shot it with the Swallowtail and the fan cap. I forgot to mention that I had also bought a fan cap with it when I first showed the Swallowtail. But I shot it with that, with the 0.5 needle, and it went on pretty good. It has this kind of rough texture to it at the end. Not too bad. I think that this Tamiya primer is it has a little bit of a roughness, but this Mr. Surfacer it's kind of fine. It's a little bit more smooth. But it's not too bad. It's not that bad. So here's the thing. Let me go back to this. This is what I've done to this. When I was cleaning this body up, I messed it up. When I first primered this, I was trying to clean it up because it kind of lifts off. It's kind of, I don't know if you can see here, I left some of this here on purpose. And you can flake it kind of flakes, not flakes, but it kind of peels off. And oops, I got it all over this. That's okay. It kind of peels off. And as I was trying to clean in between the doors with the scriber and with the knife and everything, it's just like it kept like almost leaving these little hairs of primer, of the white primer in there. And it's not that I didn't let it dry. I let it dry overnight, so that was plenty of time. And so as I was noticing that, I wasn't paying attention, and I gouged into the door. I did it up here as well. I gouged into the roof of the car. Where else did I do that? In here, on this A-pillar here, I peeled off a chunk of it. I just did not like the way it was, and it could have been because it was underneath this. I don't know. Could have been. I don't know. But you know, this is lacquer base, I believe. Yeah, I think this is lacquer base. Yeah, it's flammable, and this is acrylic base. So I don't think it should have been a big deal. It should have just laid down just fine. So another thing that I realized after I shot it with the primer is these little rails here, these window trims. Basically, on this kit, they do not exist. And I thought that at first this kit was bad. So I have two other kits, two unopened kits that I went and opened just to go see, because I decided, hey, I'm just gonna change the body, switch the body out, because maybe mine's bad. But the other two have the same problem. At least one of the other kits, this window trim is kind of there, but this other side is gone. And I realized that after, while when I noticed it, I remember sanding a little lip off of this side, thinking it was flash, but it wasn't flash. It was actually part of that window trim, and then this side didn't have anything. And right now you can see it has something there. Well, I had to recreate that, and I'm gonna post some pictures of my process of what I did. And I just used evergreen 1mm by 1mm solid square rod, and I glued it in there, and I reshaped it and kind of rounded it off on this corner on the bottom. I kind of cut a little chunk, a little tiny piece, and I put it in the corner, same thing as there, and I reshaped it with the round knife with the round file, and it kind of shows there, that it's there now. Now on this drip rail on the side, now these are little things that bug me, and I almost did put this kit away. Like, seriously, before I did any of this, I was like, this is just going back in the box. But then I realized, it's like, no, I can't do that. I gotta challenge myself, and I gotta fix this, and I cannot have another kit go back in the box, because it's just, I'm disappointed by it. But anyways, I might do something with this, because I was looking at a lot of other references. This drip rail does turn in about 99% of the cars. I think I've only seen one car that just went up halfway around and it stopped. But everything else I've been seeing, every other reference, it goes around. And then on this side, it barely has anything to grab on if you do any bare metal foil on it. So if you're gonna do bare metal foil on this, yeah, keep an eye out on that if anybody's building this kit. I know there's a couple of people that watch my video mention that they're building this kit as well, and I know there was like a group build not too long ago as well. I don't know if any of those people ran into that issue. Maybe I'm singing to the choir here, but yeah, I decided to take on this kit, and it's going. I'm not giving up. I reshot it. I thought, forget this. I'm just gonna go back to what I know. My rattle can primer, and I fixed everything, the gouges that I made with the scriber, and so basically starting again with this. Now here's what I'm doing wheel wise. So I printed these. These are the originals. You can see they are a little smaller, the printed wheels. I wanted a version of this car to be driven on the street. I know that slicks are not allowed on the roads, just for the tracks. And so I wanted one with tread. So also the front wheels, these are very skinny, and these printed ones are a little wider. I like these wider ones. I'm not really a big fan of these little skinny ones. So I was just playing around with this, mocking it up. These are supposed to be American Racing, I believe. So it's kind of like that. It's probably going to be up a little higher, but I want it as low as possible. I like it a little low, kind of around there. If I add, I mean, there's no rear end or suspension on this yet, but I'm kind of playing around with that. But yeah, I had it when I downloaded this file. These wheels, it was actually this one, the original file. When I printed the original wheel, so it's cool that in the slicer program for the printers, for printing, you can actually play around with the dimensions on this. You can make these wider, you can make them bigger, to rescale it. You can manipulate it in the XYZ axis. So that was pretty cool. I was able to measure this and then make them the same width. So, but they are I left it smaller because I wanted it lower to the ground. So as you can see, the original wheel tire, it's bigger. It's probably 1/8 of an inch or so taller. But if it doesn't look right, hey, you know, I'll just reprint them and I'll resize it to this size. But I think this is going to work from what what my plan is. So these are the two wheels that are going on there, wheels and tires. I have the little caps as well that were printed. But yeah, that's what it's going to look like for now. Right now, I have these are LS engines that are just my real prototypes that I printed and put together. Two different scales. One's 1/25th scale, one's 24th scale, 1/25th scale. You can kind of see one's bigger than the other. This one here is 1/25th. This one's 1/24th. And so I did my final print. I primered it, so they're drying. This is the transmission I'm going to be using. I got this transmission from another different file that came with a body. And it's basically, I don't have the original engine here from this kit, but it's basically the same transmission. So I didn't want to cut off the transmission off the original kits. So this is it right there. So that's what's going on with this. Like I said, I'm playing around with the stands. Well, I just got these printed last night, so I was just playing with that and seeing what it looks like. That's my story with the primer. I am still going to decant this and shoot it through the airbrush, through the swallowtail. And it might be a little darker than I want it to be, but that's okay. I'm still going to, if what I'm going to do is I'm going to respray this on a spoon with the Stynylrez, and then I'm going to spray it with, well, not this because it's empty, but with that, and I'm going to test it to see which one it is. I know that Mr. Surfacer makes a white primer, and if I like what it looks like in white, I don't know, I might reprimer it white. I might not. I don't know. I don't want to put too many coats on this car. So that's what's happening. So that's it for now. Sorry for the long video. I just want to do a little update. That's what I've been working on all week. Kind of almost put this kit back in the box, but then decided not to. Yep. Well, guys, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Excited for tomorrow's model cars and coffee. And yeah, that's it. Peace.